Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? And yes, this is the final stream in NOLA, and as you can tell, things are looking quite a bit different. I don't have my normal webcam. I do have the new microphone, but I'm holding it by the hand because many things have been to pack up. The orange chair is taken apart behind me, and tomorrow is the day that I pack up the giant truck and then drive out on Monday, all the stuff. Mirror Jeremy is very sad. It is the last NOLA stream, but don't worry, it is not the last stream, just the last NOLA stream. We're going to talk a little bit about that, a little bit about the journey I have coming up, and also a little bit about the Alita Blu-ray sales as well, because Alita has been kicking some serious ass. People are still a little angry with the way that certain people are talking about Alita, comparing it to other films, which I think is completely valid. I think that if you don't compare it to other films, that's also completely valid. And I think that most of us who are sane have already, pretty much moved on from the fight that was on Twitter the other day, which is a good thing because obviously it's all about supporting Alita, and so Alita's been doing pretty damn well. In fact, I honestly was so surprised when I went to my local Best Buy today, and there were no 4Ks, there were no Blu-rays left of Alita. They were completely empty. The Steelbooks were gone, the 4Ks were gone, the Blu-rays were gone, and only DVDs were left. And even then, about half the DVDs were left, compared to another film which still had a plethora. Mad Mitch says, Odin, what's going on, Mad Mitch? Alex McCarthy says, howdy, Odin. Hope all is well. Spider-Man movie marathon with the wife, so can't stay, but safe travels to Tennessee, and God bless you, Odin. God bless you, Alex McCarthy. Enjoy that marathon. Just skip Spider-Man 3 if you can. And just skip the Amazing Spider-Mans if you can. I like it. Amazing Spider-Man 1. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just not worth it. Trap Productions says, you're looking rather holy, my lord. Well, thank you, Trap Productions. I appreciate that very much so. I'm very green. I feel like today is a very green day. By the way, this is a great shirt. I just reject your hypothesis. Yes, this is the wonderful quote by Quentin Tarantino. I have not seen this movie yet. I have not seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet. It is on my list. I'm hoping I can see it tomorrow. So let's just hope that I'm able to pack the truck up very, very quickly, and I'm able to find some time to actually go to a theater before going on to Tennessee on Monday. Then it says, last NOLA stream, rip NOLA. Yes, indeed. NOLA will not be the same. Bruce says, I've watched my copy of Alita 5 times since it came in. Nice, Bruce. That's freaking awesome, man. I have not had time, because as you can tell, everything's just going crazy behind me. I've not even had time to catch up with my normal movies, and yeah, it's been insane. It has absolutely been insane. Soul Assassin says, Odin, leaving New Orleans, now who am I going to call for bail during Mardi Gras? Well, I'm glad that you never called me, because I tend to stay during Mardi Gras. This is what I normally do. I normally just stay inside my house watching movies, watching TV shows, or just hanging out with my wife and my dogs, because guess what? I have no interest in going out and just experiencing nonstop nonsensical drunk people. That's not my idea of a good time. Dark Detective says, according to Grace Randolph, China might be slightly angry at Shang-Chi. They should be. And actually, no, the rumor going around is that they are not a fan of one of the actors, not the one that was cast as Shang-Chi, but someone else. And basically, they're mad at how there was basically a well-known actor in China, someone who's like a veteran actor in China, is not being billed as highly as some other actors in the movie. And so some of them are actually pretty mad about that. But honestly, I feel like a lot of people in China are very much aware of people when they pander to them. And so what I'm really hoping is that Shang-Chi is like Disney's attempt to pander, and then China says, screw you, we know what you're trying to do here. Just like what they tried to do in Rogue One with Star Wars. And that one just didn't really work out that well. Let's see. Hammer says, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a masterpiece. Tarantino's best film in at least a decade. See it in 35mm or 70mm blow up if you can. Hammer, unfortunately, there's no theaters near me, even in New Orleans, that are offering it, and there are no theaters in Tennessee that I know of that are offering it, but I'll definitely try and keep a lookout. The worst case scenario, I see it in beautiful HD digital. The Senate says, I love that shirt. I need it. Where'd you get it? Basically, I just Googled, I reject your hypothesis, t-shirt, Tarantino, and then there were plenty of options that popped up. I totally forgot where I got this thing like 2 months ago. No, a month and a half ago. It was like right after. It was like a week after that amazing quote from Tarantino. And of course, immediately shirts became available for it. So I can't remember where I got this from. But most of the mainstream t-shirt companies, there's someone who has made some version of this shirt. Because obviously no one owns that phrase. This is just one of the many versions that exist out there. I just reject your hypothesis. Because guess what? We do. We reject your hypothesis. Let's see here. Velvet Scarlatina, I see you in there. hope you're enjoying your summer. Hope you are enjoying your summer, and I know that you're not happy that school is just around the corner. Genesis says, since we were talking about Alita, do you think Hugo is alive? Ooh, well, I guess this is where we want to be very careful because this is based off of a manga. The manga has been complete, so for those that know what happens in the manga, try not to spoil anything for those who are waiting for the movies, because obviously there's a lot of people here that really want to see an Alita sequel and want to see the manga story continued. So I honestly don't know, and I kind of don't want to speculate either since the answer is out there. But I guess if I had to answer quickly, I would say I think that character's done because I think that is the motivation for Alita to move on. That is the motivation for Alita to do what she's doing. So that's why I think that in the end I would say yes, but obviously I don't want to go too crazy into into that because it is based off of some other things that have already been decided. So let us see here. Alex McCarthy says we're on Amazing Spider-Man 2 right now. Buy Alita, y'all. Seriously, buy Alita, guys. If you have not bought Alita yet, what are you waiting for? It is the hottest commodity right now. If you go to your local stores, you'll probably see like half empty shelves. My store, completely empty shelves. And I think that is just showing that there are so many people that are passionate about this film, that want to buy it, that want to support it. And guess what? That's what we need to do. Also, guys, if you try and get Heimdall is not going to be up and running today. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm on a different machine. And Heimdall is a locally based bot, meaning that all the information is stored locally on my main computer. So Heimdall and the bots are taking a night off. So you just got me. You just got me in a fun time. I will say this much, though. When I get up to Tennessee, a very, 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 very generous donor, and again, I'll shout that person out when I actually get up to Tennessee and I'm actually able to do so, donated five Blu-rays. So he donated 1 4K and 4 regular Blu-rays editions of Alita Battle Angel. So I'll be doing a giveaway of those 5 copies of Alita when I get up to Tennessee. So either Monday or Wednesday evening, most likely, because Tuesday I'll be busy doing something. I actually will be able to, guys, very excited. So on Tuesday, I am going to be able to see Hobbs and Shaw early at a press screening because a good friend of mine, who's become a very good friend of mine, and he's awesome, John Flickinger, the FlickPick channel, one to that event. So I cannot wait to see that movie because even though obviously I'm tired of the sequel prequel world that we live in today, that to me seems like it might be just different enough because of the characters, and also I love The Rock, that it could be freaking awesome. So yeah, yes, go buy Alita, guys. We'll be doing the giveaway when I finally get settled up in Tennessee. Bruce says, Odin, you are going to find so much to do in around Tennessee. Oh, for sure. Absolutely, Bruce. I mean, just the hiking alone, the mountains, the food, there's so many things to do. We already have a list. And also, we're an hour and a half out from Six Flags, Georgia. So that's going to be something that we do. We're not too far off. I think we're like 2.5 or 2 hour, 15 minutes outside of Dollywood. So there's a lot of different things in our area. Like, even though we might have to drive to certain places, the fact that it's like something that we can do in a day or something that we can do for a weekend is pretty cool. It's pretty awesome. New Orleans, yeah, there's a lot of food down here, but that's pretty much it. John Early says, the moment when Henry Cavill's Soups says to Amy Adams' Lois, this is my world, you are my world, could have been beautiful in a better movie. Do you agree? Probably. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was in that movie. Unfortunately, you have BVS and Justice League, which are just... And again, if there's anyone out there that's a hardcore defender of it, again, you can subjectively love those movies until you're blue in the face, but objectively, those films are not good. They are not written well. Mirror Jeremy says, where are our lovely Stephanie B and Tina? I did not tell them that I was going live. So in all likelihood, YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, did not notify them that we were live, and that might be why they are not here. This was mostly impromptu because I found myself in a moment where I'm like, you know what? I'm done for the night. I had dinner with my family. I got home. And I was like looking around doing stuff, doing some laundry right now. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to jump on, do a live stream. I don't know how long I'm going to be on for. I do know that a friend of the channel, Junker, is what I call him, Junker Designs. He was the one that Anna, that Star Wars girl, interviewed not too long ago. He actually designed several things and was in Alita Battle Angel. He designed specifically Hugo's jacket. So he actually has been doing this giveaway where he's been raffling off tickets to have him fly out to that person who wins to actually design them their own jacket, their own version of Hugo's jacket, like a legit jacket. And so I think he's pulling the winners today, and I think that starts around 9 p.m. is when he told me. So I definitely won't be on past that time, because I want to make sure he's able to get as much attention as he possibly can get. So yeah, Junker Designs. I don't know if he's streaming on YouTube or not, but I'm sure he might jump into the chat if he can. Let us see here. Sticky V says, just had to stop by from my last stream from our old house. May the heavens be kind upon your move. Also, Alita, the ultimate weapon. Absolutely. And also, too, this is going to be one of the I'm hoping that I'm able to fix the echo issues as soon as I get up there. And once stuff's in the room, the echo issues will stop. But that's the other thing, too. You know, this is the last time I actually just took my sound panels off this door. So it actually might even be more echoey than it normally is because I've taken that off. And also, it sounded a little bit different earlier when I posted my video. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's the sound on this machine. I don't know what it is. But yeah, it was good. Bruce says he fell with a real human head from a giant height. He's dead. Yeah, Bruce, I would say that if we're gonna look at those, if we're gonna look at the situation and we're gonna look at the plot and the movie in a commonsensical way, that's most likely the case. Darth Marl says, great haircut, Allfather. Henry Cavill has claimed he wants Man of Steel 2. In your opinion, do you think that could happen? Sure, anything could happen at this point in time. I mean, the question is going to be, is that going to be under J.J. Abrams or not? And is J.J. Abrams going to want someone new to be Superman? Does he want one of his good friends? Because you know that J.J. Abrams loves getting his tentacles in everything and loves connecting to all of his friends and getting them involved in all of his projects. So the real question is going to be, is that going to happen, or is that not true, and are they going to try and actually make Man of Steel 2 or not? So it could happen, but yeah. But thank you very much for the yeah. Got the buzz cut again. It's very comfy. It's very easy to take care of. Bruce says, got that one already. Poppyton says, I will keep my mouth shut about Alita. Well, Poppyton, if you didn't like Alita, that's fine. Again, you can have that opinion. Not everyone needs to love the movie. I love the movie, and I'm just saying if you do also like the movie or you're interested in the movie, go and support it, because the only way that it's getting a sequel is if we continue to support it in the ways that we want. Inked Hulk says, did you watch The Expanse? I'm about 4 or 5 episodes into season 1, so I'm watching The Expanse. I might even watch an episode tonight once the stream ends, but I'm very far behind. Also, guys, I'm very, very sorry if things are a little out of whack tonight. I'm not on D-Live right now because, again, I'm not on my normal setup, and it would just be impossible for me to go back and forth because a mouse just does not work on this current... The mouse that I'm only on YouTube and Periscope. And Periscope, I don't ever really see the chat going on Periscope because it's more of just people on Twitter to know that I'm live and to come over to YouTube. But unfortunately, I'm trying my best to keep up with the chat because I'm using OBS, I'm using Streamlabs OBS on this computer, it's not working the same way. So I had to pull up a separate window for the chat. So Odin question is still popping up orange for me. And again, that's if you want to get my, if you want to contact me, if you want me to read your question or to read your comment, just put Odin question, all one word. Don't put any spaces or anything like that. Make sure it's spelled correctly, and it'll pop up orange, and I'll read your comments. But if I miss any, I'm very, very sorry. It's not my plan to do that. Mad Mitch says, I read somewhere yesterday that an Alita prequel is planned dealing with the fall. I think, Mad Mitch, I thought I read that too, but then I looked further into it. And I think that on the Blu-ray, there's 2 hours of extra features apparently on the Blu-ray. And I think what basically it means is that they go more into the fall on the Blu-ray than anything else. I think that's what was going on. Dark Detective says, It Too is long-range tracking at $130 million opening. Could it be the first rated R film to reach $1 billion? Dark Detective, I mean, it's still way too early to tell that. And when it comes to these open, like long-range tracking, I don't trust that stuff at all. I mean, they've said that certain movies are going to make bank, and they never made bank. They've said certain movies aren't going to make money, and then they've made bank. So I don't trust long-term. I always try... I sometimes will make predictions about what I feel might happen, but that's not, it's like, take that with a grain of salt. It's when you actually get the numbers, when you get that raw data after the opening weekend, and most especially after the second weekend, that you're able to have a lot more accuracy as to how well a movie will actually end up doing. So I think It Too is going to be very, very successful, and I think that it could be the highest grossing rated R film because obviously there's a lot of hype around it. But whether or not it reaches $1 billion, the reason why it would be difficult is it's not getting a China release, and that's a lot of cheddar right there. If anyone's been following box office, you know that China makes up a huge portion of the box office, and they will not have that type of movie because of the creepy, demonic possession type, not demonic possession, but you know what I mean, like a creepy demonic clown. Not something that they tend to show in China. Genesis says, Heimdall is dealing with Thanos. It's not looking good. No, it's not. Senate says, where's the transbot? Where's the transbot, Odin? Don't be insensitive. I know, you're right, Senate. You're absolutely right. Genesis says, if you find your way around Athens, Georgia, let me know. I don't know if I'll ever be in that area. Tell me what's... Genesis, other than you, what else is in Athens, Georgia? Nickel Noodle says, I realize it's probably a pain, but doing the mic hold is a good look for you. Looks like you're going to do an Alita Demands a sequel. Change my mind. Street segment. You see, now, if I had someone over here with me, then it would be perfect for that, because I'd be like, oh, what are you talking about Alita? What, you didn't like it? Get out of here. No, I'm kidding, of course. Every person can have their own opinion on anything. We welcome all. It's how you present that opinion, and also if you can at least accept reality and understand that there's an objective and subjective reality when it comes to the world of movies. Dark Detective says, what was the big Hollywood trend before these remakes, reboots, and superhero films? Every single era has a different trend. So think about it. Like, what was the big thing going on in like the 60s, 70s? You know, like you saw like Westerns were a big part of that, 50s, what was it? You see that every single decade of film has a different focus, has a different type of film that gets promoted, that gets pushed. 80s, action films. Whenever you think of action films, you always go to the 80s. 90s, I would say, also kind of picks that up a little bit too. So, yeah, I mean, this is definitely going to be, and a good friend to the channel, Greta Zenner. Go check out her channel. She has not made a new video in a while because she's taking a break, but the content she has up there right now is still really, really good. And basically, she goes into these different eras, and she goes more into film history because she loves film history like I do. But she makes her channel more focused on that rather than what I do here when I focus more on pop culture and stories and movies and things like that. So check out her channel if you want to see more about that. But yeah, every single era of film has a different trend. I want to make sure that I did not skip any comments. I don't think that. Beats of Angels, what's going on? It says, I know why they're getting mad at your recent Alita tweet video comparing to Captain Marvel sales. Yeah, well, you know what? It's Beats of Angels. It's different groups of people because you have there were Bree bots that got up on that post today, and I blocked them right away because I'm like, I do not want you a part of this at all because you're gonna make the people that I was arguing with the other day mad too because they're gonna say, look, we were correct. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to this: support Alita. Whatever way you support Alita, do it. If that means that you have extra money and so that way you can buy Blu-rays and give them to other people, do that. If that means that you have a YouTube channel and you can use that YouTube channel to get the word out there, then do it. If you want to, compare that film, Alita, a good, solid film, to another film, go ahead and do that. Don't try and tear anybody else down that's going to support Alita. If they're supporting Alita, as long as they're not doing anything illegal or anything really, really bad, let them support Alita in the way that they want to. Let's not gatekeep. Again, as someone who's been guilty of gatekeeping at least a couple times in the last few months, got myself in trouble with a couple of friends of mine because of my own gatekeeping. So I know what that's like. I know what it's like to gatekeep, and I know what it's like to have that blind spot. But we need to be open to and aware that we cannot try and limit others. If some other people are trying to support a film in a certain way, let them do that. Again, as I said, as long as they're not doing anything illegal or doing something disturbing, then let them do it. Because at the end of the day, it's getting the word out there. At the end of the day, it's getting people out there. Because you know what? People loving a movie is a motivating factor, but also people wanting a movie to do better than another movie is also a motivating factor. They're both valid reasons. They're both valid ways of approaching this. So yeah, Beats of Angels, there's a lot of reasons why. There's lots of different people going after, and there are a couple people that are complete asshats. Like there was one today, and I shared the screenshot of it, who basically, I blocked him right away because I don't like blocking. I do not like blocking people, but this guy was saying, oh, it's obvious, I don't know how to feel about this because you were flipping off Alita at the end. I said, no, I wasn't. And then it turns out that what he was trying to say was, oh, well, it seems like you would because you've been stabbing people in the back. And it's like, okay, so you just came on here to start some crap. That's what you tried to do. So again, only when people do that do I ever, do the blocking. I don't block. If you have a different opinion, I don't block it. There's some people who get blocked on my comment sections on my YouTube and they always say, oh, you're just scared of different opinions. It's like, no, there are people in this chat right now who have different opinions on me on a plethora of issues. And they're not blocked because they know how to approach it. They know how to get their message out there. They know how to have a conversation. The only people that ever get blocked are people that do not know how to have a conversation because I don't have enough time or patience to deal with that kind of nonsense, especially when I'm moving. Seriously. Let's see. Tech Guy says, Crisis on Infinite Earth could be the way to unify and open DCU in the same time. Do you think they will be able to capitalize on it and not screw it up? Tech Guy, it would be really nice if they weren't able to, but based on the recent history of the CW, it's a bit of a stretch. Could they? Yes. Will they? That's the big if. CF Productions coming to you with a stream. CF Productions, what's going on, bro? Let's see. Sean Ship says, Heimdall was a bot. I shared my deepest, darkest secret with him. Well, don't worry. He might be a bot, but he has feelings, okay? He has feelings. He has feelings, and it's okay. It is fine. You are good. All right, let's see. The chat jumped on me, guys, so let me try and catch back up to where I left off. Oh, man, it is hopping tonight. I don't even know how many people are in here tonight because, as I said, my Streamlabs is messed up. So literally, I've got the chat on one side and I've got notifications on the other. I don't even think that this is keeping track of new subscribers or anything like that. So if you're donating and I miss it, I'm very, very sorry, and I'll try and catch up with that at the very end. But yeah, this is crazy. This is fun. This is fun. All right, where were we? Rachel. There we go. Dark Detective says, what will the Bree boys think if Captain Marvel 2 falls short of the original in terms of box office? Dark Detective, I think it absolutely will. Because unless it has an Endgame type film next to it to prop it up artificially, by the time that, because keep in mind, that film's not coming out for the next 2 years. Because we already know like the next 2 years planned out for the MCU, which means it's not going to come out for the next 3 or 4 years. By that time, fatigue is going to set in. Because as I said, there's already going to be a drop-off after Endgame. Because there's going to be people saying, all right, I'm kind of done. I was a huge, Robert Downey Jr. fan. Now he's not a part of it anymore, so I'm done. Or, hey, I was a huge Chris Evans fan, and now I'm done. Or even just the characters. Oh, I loved Iron Man and Captain America. Now they're not there. I'm not interested in the B team. I'm not interested in any of these characters. And I think that there's going to be enough people that are going to feel like that. We're going to start to see that the films following aren't going to live up to the same thing. I mean, and also, too, keep this in mind, that Disney does not have more than 2 original films over the next 5 years. Like, period. So I think that you're going to start to see people going more to, especially since Disney now has the streaming service, think about how many people are going to say, you know what, I'd rather pay the $7 a month for that, wait a few months for it to become available on the streaming service, than go out to the theater and see it right away. You know what I mean? I think that the streaming service is probably going to actually hit their bottom line at the very end. Tina. There's Tina. Steph and I knew you'd do this. She's trying to fix something to eat after her classes. I was reading, wow, that room looks very empty. Well, as you can tell, Tina, it was not done on purpose. This was kind of a random last-minute live stream. So I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry that I did not tell you guys, but I figured that it would be a good way to test to see if notifications are working. And yes, there's no cookies tonight, guys. This is a different computer, so no cookies tonight. Grandmaster Yoda says, "Is it right the July 30th or 31st for me? It will be not happen. Is it right the July 30th or 30th for me will not happen? Grandmaster Yoda, what are you talking about? What? What are you talking about?" John Wheeler says, "Hi Yoda, how are you today? I'm doing just fine, John. How are you doing, good sir?" I'm tired. I'm very, very tired. Tech Guy says, the feels alone, seeing Tom Welling, Dean Cain, and other TV and movie Supermen together would rock. Well, Dean Cain, I don't think was announced yet. I have not followed it up since the last video I made. But last time I checked, he was not on that list, but he could be. Dark Detective says, are the Game of Thrones guys still doing a Star Wars trilogy? Because I think they decide on to do something else for a while. Yeah, they are. And in fact, that first movie is coming out 2021. According to the schedule, 2021 is going to be the first Star Wars film. 2022 is going to be the Avatar. No, maybe they've pushed everything back. So 2020 was supposed to be Avatar. So I think 2021 is now Avatar 2's release date. And then 2022 is the first Star Wars film. So based on how much time it takes for visual effects and all the other things that it takes to make a movie, my guess is that they're already in pre-production for the next Star Wars. So yeah, last time I checked, they're still on for it. Unfortunately. Rogue Baron says, howdy looks kind of bare in there. It's pretty bare, man. It is pretty bare. And after tomorrow, it's going to be even barer. If that's even a word. Souls asks that the real question is how much lens flare and mystery boxes are going to be in the DC universe under J.J. Abrams now? That's a great question, man. An infinitesimal. Tina says the Expanse has been renewed for a 5th season and 4th hasn't aired yet. I saw that Nerdrotic covered that. That's freaking awesome. I see a couple of F's in the chat. RIP. Okay. Oh, I hope it came back. I hope that it was just for a second. I'm very sorry. As I said, I'm on a different computer. I'm not hard-lined in. I'm just relying on Wi-Fi. So hopefully everything is coming through okay. Let's see here. It's going to go down, but also it usually never goes down until sales go down. And so that's actually a good sign because that means that people are buying it at that price. So I would say, Hammer, it's worth getting at that price because also that means more money is going to the bottom line for Alita. And if we want to support Alita, if we want it to get a sequel, we might have to do that. Poppy Dan says, I love Alita. I'm talking about the manga D-Love. D-Live Love. Oh, I'm sorry, Poppy 10. I know. Don't worry. This week, once I get settled up there, so either like Monday or Wednesday night, we'll have we'll have our normal stream, and I will be up on DLive. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Dr. Ted says, what movie are you looking forward to the most in 2021? Man, I don't know the list of movies coming out in 2021 off the top of my head, so I can't really speak to that quite yet. Mr. Roy, thank you for the $2, so it does work. Thank you. He says, have a safe trip. Mr. Roy, thank you so much, man. Mr. Roy, I'm very sorry that I'm not on DLive right now. I wish I could, but my head would explode. My my gigantic head would explode. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know movies. Give me some examples. Give me like a list of films that you know, because I can't look that up right now. As I said, I'm very limited with what I can do because of the current setup that I have. But if you can give me a list of movies, and I can tell you which ones I'm most excited about, or if I'm not excited about one at all. John Early says, what I meant about the Will Smith, Robin Williams thing from the previous stream is that if people find Robin obnoxious and have a problem with his death, then the remake is for you. Yeah, but I don't really understand that, John Early, to be honest. I still don't quite understand what you're trying to get at. Matt Mitch says, okay, thanks for the heads up. I haven't looked at the Blu-ray yet. It's fantastic, Matt Mitch. The Doctor, I bought Alita on 4K from Sainsbury's Pontypridd. It sold more copies than Captain Marvel. Boom, Doctor. So, Doctor, are you friends with the channel again? Because last stream you weren't so friendly, but it has. Very clearly it has. I mean, I've gone to these stores now at least once a week, and I've seen the same thing. And that's a plethora of copies of one movie, and then whatever the new release was the next week sold more. I have not seen these many copies of any movie over the last few weeks sell, though, in comparison. Like, Alita has actually been selling out in certain stores. Now, you can say all you want, oh, that's because they didn't order enough copies, and that might be true, but that still means that they're moving copies. That still means that they're moving product. If you go to and look and talk about this other movie, though, Captain Marvel, that one's not moving product. That one's not moving any numbers at all. And the reason why that's important is because on the one hand, you have a film that was given a gigantic budget, that was supported in the media, that was supported in by critics, that was literally lifted up in every way. It had every chance to succeed, and guess what? It made $1 billion. And on the other hand, you have another film that was not given those same chances, that was actually even torn down in some instances as well. And that film did not make its money back in the box office, and that film is selling because you have passionate fans that are going out of their way to buy it. And the reason why I keep bringing up the steelbooks is because, guys, they only make a limited number of steelbooks for any given film. And what you're seeing is that you can't find the Alita steelbooks in most locations. It's like so hard to find it. In fact, I think they're honestly making more copies because they realize, oh my God, we can actually sell these. We don't have to hold on to this extra stock. But then on the other side, you have Captain Marvel and it's not selling. You still have, even like almost a month after it's come out on release, you still have the collectible steelbooks. That to me is so telling. Not just because it's Captain Marvel, not just because of my issues with it, but because it's a gigantic Disney property that was given every chance to succeed, and people are not buying it after the fact. So all those same people that said, oh, but it's the greatest film ever, and it's so great, it's so wonderful, they aren't buying it. And if they are, they're a lot smaller in number than many people would like us to think that they are. And if you don't like me comparing the two, again, that's your opinion. You can go ahead and support a movie however the hell you like. I honestly believe, as a movie critic, I honestly believe as someone who stands in the way that I do, that comparing films in this way is very beneficial because it helps us to, one, see just how great Alita is actually selling, but also to show us that on one side you have a passionate, awesome fan base that loves this project and wants to succeed, and on the other you have a movie that just went through the Disney, meat grinder of, oh, let's just make let's just make a generic superhero movie that has no life to it, that has no actual heart to it at all, and people will just automatically, buy a couple of copies. And it's exposing that. And that's the reason why it's important. So if you think I'm trying to hijack something or trying to hijack a movement or a hashtag or a movie, no. I love this movie. That's why I've given away several copies on the channel. That's why JJ was very generous. That's why this other anonymous donor who will be revealed, because he said I could reveal him. I just don't have the name in front of me right now because obviously my setup. But that's why he sent 5 copies to my new, as soon as I posted I have a new P.O. box, he said, boom, I'm going to send you some copies, man. So I have 5 more copies that I'll be able to give away. So don't for a second say, oh man, you're just, are you kidding me? If you don't think that I'm supporting Alita, I've been supporting Alita ever since February. Ever since Gannison Alita Troll, who I always show love to on this channel, said, Odin, go see this movie. It's free of identity politics, which guess what? Was a motivating factor for me to see the movie. Because We need more movies like that. We need movies that are actually good. We need movies that have, I'm pushing it as much as I am. That's why I just bought, there's this thing called Displate, and it's like metallic posters. I just bought an Alita poster because it looks freaking badass. And that's going to be behind me in the new studio. Because, again, I love this movie. And if you question that at all, get the hell out. Let's see here. Micah Martinez. What's going on? Micah Martinez says, I'm watching Alita right now. Really good movie. Can't wait to see the Blu-ray sales. Yeah, seriously. I can't wait to see the actual raw data as well. I really do think it's going to be telling. I think that you're going to see a lot of money going towards Alita. Dr. Ted says, if you hated Captain Marvel, then I have some bad news. Female Thor is the exact same character, but with a different look. Crap. Dark Detective, I think that's a fair point. I think that's a very fair point. Absolutely. Christine Fernandez says, have you checked out the movie theaters in your new town? So we've actually visited Chattanooga several times before the move took place, and so I've been to a couple of the AMCs. Or no, correction, I've been to one AMC, and it's actually a really nice place. There's like a parking garage, and you can get your parking validated just by going to see a movie and everything. So it was pretty nice. I think it's probably gone through some upgrades since I left, and there's actually a lot of options. But I'll probably end up going to that one because that one's like less than 10-minute drive away from my house. So Eric Rhodes says, have you read the Alita comic? No, I have not, Eric Rhodes. As I've always mentioned, I'm not really a comic guy. I'm not a manga person. I love movies and television. That's always been my passion. And so it's not like I'm totally against it. And also, because of the Alita sale, I actually got a free copy because of the movies that I bought for other people on Amazon. I actually got a free copy of Volume 1 and 2 of Alita. So I do have that available. It's on my Kindle. And so if I have time and patience, I will, would love to go through that. So I do actually have them. Because of that. John Lee says, I saw a YouTube video essay that said The Dark Knight is a post 9/11 film noir movie, and it was fascinating. Okay, gotcha. Genesis says, Comic Shocks, different bars to go to. There are several places here that have been in TV and movies that I could show you. There are a lot of cool haunted trails during the fall as well. Okay, gotcha. So I might have to check out that. I might have to check I might need to check Athens out, man. Doctor says, I did not want a female Thor. I thought Thor was his name, not his title. I agree the same. Doctor, I feel like you're a different person tonight, man. And I'm liking it. I like this version of Doctor. I don't know what happened with the other version of the Doctor. But no, I feel the same way. I feel the same exact way. Thor is a name. That's a fact. It is a name. Now, Power of Thor, you could theoretically, and they did in the comics, you could play around with that and say, oh no, it's that Jane, somehow she has the power of Thor. But she can't be called Thor because Thor is a name. Thor is an actual person. She's not becoming Thor. She just has powers that are similar to Thor's. So why we're having to call her Mighty Thor makes no damn sense because that does not work. It's stupid. Beads of Angel says, was one of them, I'm not going to say the name out of respect for the person, because, man, some of the Alita army hates the Captain Marvel comparison, and they just think making that comparison, and yeah, gatekeeping is bad. Yeah, Beads of Angels. And again, we were able to, we finished that argument. So that argument between us, between the people who are kind of like the heads of this movement, I guess you could say, we pretty much were able to, put everything under the bridge. At least I hope so. And we've only had today people who have been either Captain Marvel bots or people that have just been trying to start crap coming in today to do that. So again, I don't hold any ill will towards anyone. I just don't like being told how I can support a movie. I don't like being told how I need to support something. And that's why I said I've gatekeeped before. And whether it's in my own boycott of Disney and calling out others for not doing so, I mean, that is a form of gatekeeping, as right as I might think I am, that's a form of gatekeeping and I shouldn't do that. Or whether it was the super chats, when I turned out the super chats and I tried to, reach out to other channels to do the same thing, that is a form of gatekeeping. That is the way that I'm dealing with it. And that's why, there's different ways though, that I can try and get that same result of trying to take money away from YouTube to make a point, without having to call anyone out in public and say, oh, you're not doing it right. Because that's gatekeeping. And that's not a good thing. Again, as I said, I've been guilty of it myself. And I totally admit that. And that's one of the things. We need to be able to admit the faults that we have. Because all of us have faults. All of us make mistakes. But if we can admit those mistakes and understand that there's a better way to go about trying to do, everything that we're trying to do, then that's one thing. And I honestly believe that when it comes to Alita, that having this comparison is a good thing. I think that it does show clearly how, one, successful Alita is, but also, two, why Alita is successful. Because it's a better project. It's a better film. That's not a subjective opinion. That's an objective reality. again, you can subjectively like one film over another, but objectively, the flaws that exist in Captain Marvel are not the same flaws that exist. All right. Chat jumped on me, everybody, so let me just try, and I see some Fs. Oh, no, buffering. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, hopefully when this completely goes live, everything will be okay. So let me try and see where did I leave off in the. As I said, tonight might be a little problematic for some people. So I'm very sorry to hear that. Bear Nerd Thun, what's going on? Says it seems like there is controversy in the Alita and Comicsgate community, but at least it's not as bad as Comicsgate EVS had to lay down the law last night. Dude, he's had to lay down the law several times because there are people that are just trying to destroy people's lives. It's bad. That's bad. This was a squabble. That is, really bad. Dark Detective says, surprised by how many billion-dollar films there are this year. And guess what? Most of them are from Disney. You want to know what the top 5 grossing films, domestically and foreign? They're all Disney movies. The one exception is Spider-Man, which technically is a Sony film too. But all 5 films that are the highest grossing domestically here in the US and foreign are all Disney-owned properties. That's something that we really need to start thinking about and considering. And that's why I've been very much, hey, we need to start boycotting. We need to start not supporting these films, because in their heads they say, oh my gosh, we're making billions and billions and billions of dollars. People love this stuff. We're going to keep on doing it. We're going to keep on remaking these movies. We're going to keep on rebooting. We're going to keep on doing every single thing that we've been doing and not learning our lesson, because why would we? We're making money. That's why we need to start doing something about it. Bruce says, I did my part, sent copies of Alita to my kids and grandkids. Yes, Bruce. That is a good father, good grandfather, man. Phantom Menace says, I went to work today and moved bottles for a little over 2 hours. Barely did anything, and I literally sweated my balls. I did not know that was possible. It's random fandom. It's very random, but yes, it is possible. John Winkler says, got my Alita Steelbook today, already diving into special features. Boom, John Winkler. I cannot wait to do so myself. Cannot wait to have the time to do so. John Winkler says, God of War update. I've defeated 8 Valkyries and am facing Sigrun. I've already died a few times, but a great boss fight. Ah, John Winkler. Well, at least we know now that that you're freeing the Valkyries, not destroying them. Sierra Productions. I've already said it a couple times. The bots are off. The bots are off. Mad Mitch says 87 people as of 15 minutes ago. Damn, dude. That's pretty cool for an impromptu stream with, subpar video quality. Bear Nerd Fun says, my Alita Battle Angel 4K Ultra version will arrive in the mail any day now. Awesome, Bear. That's freaking awesome, man. Sean Ship says, hail. Is that the Morty voice? I don't know Rick and Morty very well. No, I'm sorry, Morty. That's the only thing I really know. Let's see. Senate says, I like Endgame, CSJWs. This is called disagreeing. Exactly. The Senate likes the movie. I don't. But I think we can both agree that the writing's not strong. You see, that's where it comes down to. There's a common truth that we can both accept, but then we all have our own subjective opinions. That's called a conversation, everybody. Congratulations, Senate. We just engaged in a conversation. Grandmaster Yoda says, do you know Heimdall is placed in my town and only a 15-minute drive from where I live? It is thousands of city members have... Really? There's an actual town named Heimdall. Well, that's interesting. That's actually really cool, man. Tina says, they weren't working. I happened to glance down at my phone and saw your face on it. And I bet you were like, oh, yes, I need to see Odin's face. Anti-Venify says, hi, Odin, hope everything is all right. I wanted to ask when exactly we'll know how many money Alita DV sales are doing. So the good question, Anti-Venify. So basically, we won't know official numbers until probably late August, September, because if you look at the numbers.com, which is a very good source, they only just got the first numbers for Captain Marvel, and that came out about a month ago. So there's about a month delay to those numbers coming out. And even when those numbers come out on the numbers, if you actually read how they get their numbers, they aren't exact sale numbers. Basically, what they know is they know generally how many units were sold in the market in any given point in time, like in any given month. And then they're told by the studios what percentage of that market they had. And from there, they're able to get those numbers. That's how I read it. It's a little confusing, but their methodology is pretty trusted. They're a pretty legit website. So we won't know that, though, until then. until about a month from now. We'll have some numbers to look at. Grandmaster Yoda says, I meant July 31st stream night. July 31st stream night? I don't know. July 31st stream night. The only thing that I know is that on either Monday or Wednesday we're having a stream, and that's either Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday we're having our Patreon Subscribe Star stream. So don't worry, guys. If you're a $25 and up backer, I have not forgotten about you. We are going to have our July stream. I just need to get settled down first, and then I'll let you know what day of the week it's going to be. All right? It could even be tomorrow. I could get everything packed up and be like, you know what, guys, let's just do a stream. Probably not tomorrow, though, to be honest, because that's going to be way too last minute, and I want to try and give you all guys at least a 24-hour notice on it. So once I get up Monday, I'll try and get settled down and look at my schedule and figure out when we're going to do it. But it's going to be a weekend, or rather, it's going to be a weeknight, most likely. Let me see. How many days do I have left in July? So last week, the last day of July is on Wednesday. So yeah, either Monday or Wednesday we'll have our stream. All right? So either Monday or Wednesday, so just be ready for that. Oh, and I just closed the chat. This is the reason why I can't have nice things. So if any chat has been skipped, I'm sorry, but this is where my chat left off. You might need to post it again. So I'm currently Smooth Jam, California. So again, very, very sorry. I misclicked. And as I said before, tonight was going to be a night of errors. So if you left a comment before Smooth Jam California's comment that I'm about to read, you might need to post it again, and I'm very, very sorry. Smooth Jam California says, the Shrek franchise died the moment they introduced the Shrek babies. If DreamWorks ever plans to reboot, the first thing they need to do is kill them off and bring back Smash Mouth. Or Smooth Jam California, don't make any more movies. Don't make any more Shrek films. We don't need any more. Shrek 1 and 2 were more than enough, and then they got greedy. And everything that came after that sucked. John Early says, people out there who dislike actors for whatever reason. I know there's a guy named Jug Walker who gave off the impression he disliked Robin Williams because of Patch Adams. John, this is a very random point. That's not really a part of what we've been talking about tonight. So that's why I'm very taken aback, because I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a frame of reference for this. All I know is that I love Robin Williams, and he's awesome, and Will Smith was not a great genie. That's what I know. That is what I know. Smooth Jam California says, Captain Marvel is the crappiest Disney princess. Thor and Loki made better ones. Loki, for sure, is a much better Disney princess, no question. Genesis says, Doctor stopped slipping samples. I hope so, Genesis. I hope so, because I like this version of the Doctor, man. I like it very much. Soul Assassin says, did you hear about the news article that said their goal is to replace all white male heroes with female versions? Wow, who's trying to replace them? Good luck with that. I can't wait to see those franchises fail when you alienate more than half of your audience. That's not how this works. You do realize that most people that go to see these action superhero films are usually men, and are usually, especially in the United States, white men. Oh my God. Can't say that, though. You can't talk facts. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Smooth Jam California says, I actually really like the Natalie Portman in the first Thor movie. Most underrated film in the MCU, by the way. But even I'm baffled at them bringing her back now. Why not Beta Ray Bill instead? I've heard a lot of people throw that name around, Beta Ray Bill. For those that don't know, I believe Beta Ray Bill was actually referenced in Thor Ragnarok when they showed you all the different faces of the different champions of that fighting planet. You saw a horse's head. That was Beta Ray Bill. So basically, yeah, it's a good question. That character seems a lot more interesting to me than the Natalie Portman character, that's for sure. I also like the first Thor. I actually also like Thor Dark World, though I do admit, objectively, it's not a very good film. It's just one of those things that, as Odin, I have to like it. But basically, I think that what happened was they said, you know what, we need a strong female character in this movie. We can't really have Valkyrie take on the power of Thor because she's already a god. She's already a Norse god. She's already a badass, so she doesn't need it. But how about we bring in another female, because we want to spread that female empowerment around. And Natalie, we know that you don't want to do these films anymore, but here's a giant paycheck. Do one more film for us. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think that she's going to be done after this film, to be perfectly honest. Smooth Jack California says, actually, I got that one already. Blake Kirku says, what happened with EVS yesterday? I don't know. Someone just mentioned it in the chat, so I don't know. Tina says, how's the fake live-action Lion King doing? I haven't heard anything other than YouTubers discussing the uncanny valley of the animals. Yeah, seriously, Tina. Box office-wise, it's doing well. So for frame of reference, Aladdin just crossed the $1 billion mark, according to a report I just read. So that's right. Aladdin, a live action remake of Aladdin, made $1 billion. So just, again, if you want this to stop, you got to be the change. You got to be the change you want sometimes. And I have not been able to look at the numbers, and I can't pull them up right now, or else I'll close the chat again. And that would not be good for anyone, especially me and my sanity. Cupcakey says, congratulations, Odin. Congratulations on what? On moving? Is that what we're up IP? I guess I play Wonder Woman. They must be sexiest if they refuse, right? And they must be sexist if they refuse, right? God, it just shows how stupid this wokeness show media is. It's so true. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you want to have that? Okay. Well, how about this? I'll play a female character. You know, why not? Mayor Jeremy says, Morty. Oh, geez, Rick. I don't know about this one. Again, that's the only voice that I really know. Will Gentry says, well, it's only half impromptu. It's impromptu at the same kind of time you usually stream on a Saturday night, so you can expect reasonable numbers. That's how I found you tonight anyway, Will. That's a fair point. That is a very fair point, Will. This is a normal time that I tend to stream. But also, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to stream because of this. JJ's in the house. What's going on, JJ? Reed Palacia, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for that donation. Says, data and data sets are not objective. They are creations of human design. We give numbers their voice, draw inferences from them, and define their meaning through our interpretations. Kate Crawford, we define our reality through numbers. That's a very good point, Reed. We do. And that's why comparisons are a valid way of talking about movies. And that's why I will continue to make comparisons. That's just how it goes. Not to mention, Alita and Captain Marvel came out around the same time. And also, if you've seen most of these photos that have been coming in, I'm going to try, and when I do have my next live stream that's not strictly the Patreon stream, I'm going to try and collect all the photos and videos that have been sent to me, because it's been a lot. And almost every single time, it's the same story, where they have already, in Best Buy especially, put next to each other Alita and Captain Marvel. They are next to each other almost every single time. So it's like, so obviously they recognize that there is a comparison by the very fact that they're putting it out there as such. So don't go after me for making valid comparisons. Sweet Jack Calvin says, I'm glad Spidey made $1 billion. By far the best Marvel film movie of the year, and hopefully it tops Captain Marvel, the true face of Marvel. I think that it will, based on how quickly it's made $1 billion in comparison to Captain Marvel. So I think that it could. I personally thought that it was okay. It was a B movie for me, but I'm just over the MCU right now. Bruce says, I just ordered the Way to Workshop Alita Mini Epic figure from Amazon, doing my part. Boom, Bruce. Sounds good, man. Yeah, be very careful with those things that you buy, because, for example, I mentioned the poster that I bought earlier. I don't know if any of that money is actually going to Alita. I don't know if it's actually going to their bottom line. What we do know is that the Blu-rays, DVDs, 4Ks, etc., we do know that those are. And anything that's officially licensed, that we know. But yeah, dude, even just supporting it and having it and saying, like, look at this. Oh, you want to know what this is? This is Alita. You know, again, I can't wait to have Alita looking over my shoulder. Keep, watching my back. Will Gentry says, do you know when Endgame is coming out on DVD? I heard it's coming out a lot earlier than you'd expect, but don't know what date. Well, I think they've already started to announce early release dates and pre-orders for it, so I would say probably within the next month or two. I don't know exact dates on that yet. Matthew Morgan says, hey, love the channel. Odin, quick question. Now that Alita's fate is in Disney's hands, do you think Disney likes Alita? Hopefully we get an untampered with sequel. Well, because of how well it's doing right now on the 4K Blu-ray release, I think that it's going to end up making them money. Disney likes money, and so I would say on a business side alone, yes. Now, whether or not they like the fact that people are comparing a film like Alita to a film that they want to succeed and they want to be the future of the MCU in Captain Marvel, that might make them not like it nearly as much. However, it's important for us to recognize that the IP is owned by James Cameron, so he can technically bring the property for any future films wherever the hell he wants. Disney only owns the distribution, meaning that Disney owns the ability to put it out on Blu-ray and 4K, etc. So Disney's getting that money from these releases. But James Cameron, if let's say tomorrow, and he's not going to do this because James Cameron is obviously playing ball with Disney because Avatar, he obviously wants Avatar to be made, and so they're going to get he's going to get a crap ton of money from them for Avatar, crap ton of money from for another Alita film. So I think that he's going to play that game, but theoretically he could. So some people have been trying to say that he owns the IP. It's important for us to understand that yes, he owns the IP, but the distribution rights for the first Alita film are technically owned by Disney. So, fun little fact. John Wheeler says, Odin, do you like Blade? I just watched 1 and 2 and they still hold up well. I have not seen 1 in a long time, but I do remember liking it. I don't think I've ever seen 2 or 3. I heard 3 is not that good, but 2 I heard was actually a decent sequel. So those are films that I would love to watch again. Let's see. John Wheeler says, Odin, the Knight of Sorries. Yes, seriously. So sorry. So sorry. If there's lag, guys, I'm sorry. There's not much I can do about it at this point. I wish that I could. Poppyton says, I need the sorry sticker. I know, Poppyton. This is why DLive would be good at this situation, because then you could. Smooth Jam California says, Loki and Shuri, Goat, Disney princesses. Santa says, oh, darn. They're going to introduce tokenized versions of Spider-Man now. Yep. It's coming. Spider-Verse is coming, man. Will Gentry says, yeah, Beta Ray Bill's face was on the tower it showed just before they showed Thor walking up Hulk's suite. Yes, that's right. Phantom Mini says, did you hear that Trump got clearance to build the wall of the Supreme Court today? What do you think about it? Well, I mean, it's not really an open forum discussion today, so I'm not really looking to answer questions that are purely of a political level, but hey, if that's what Border Patrol thinks we need. Doctor says, I now know what I can talk about on YouTube after TARDIS Zone took away my interview with him. Oh. So what you're saying is that, I don't know what you're trying to say. But hopefully you're in the common sense realm, because I like your common sense self. Sasha Neon says, I know Alita is doing well on my shelf. Boom. Genesis says, your internet provider must know you're leaving. I think it's because I normally hardlined in, and because I'm on the Wi-Fi, it must just be dropping every now and then. And I'm very sorry to hear that. Senate says, my mom wants me to see Lion King. I had to say no. I got the 90s version. The CGI crap fest can get out. Senate, yeah, man. That's what you got to do. Like, oh, let's go see Lion King. No. Let's watch the original instead. There's no need to see this one. It's a shot-for-shot remake without the heart. Why would you want to see that? Steph says, say what? When did you come on? What's up, Steph? You know me. I'm always surprising. Sasha Neon says, title for Thor 5, it's a thunderful life. So ridiculous it must be true. Now that would be amazing. Now that would be pretty damn good. Bruce says, I'm pretty sure the Weta Workshop figure is official. Good. John Wingler says, my mom watched Lion King against my recommendations. Shaking my head. But even she said it was sad. Yay, common sense prevails. Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to see. Even a good friend of mine who went to go see it with his wife before bringing his kid because they wanted to make sure it wasn't too scary, his first reaction was, that was trash. And he is not an anti-Disney person. This is the guy that did not hate Captain Marvel. This is the guy that did not hate, other Disney releases. But even he's like, no, this is something I can't get behind. And even he also had an issue with the Little Mermaid casting. So this is the guy that's normally not against those type of things. But even he's like, hey, I've got enough common sense to know that this stuff is ridiculous and this stuff is stupid. Let us see what we got here. Orange Eye Review says, look, the sepia look, go Alita. Yeah, it's the closest that I could get because I don't have very good light in this room, and so I had to brighten up myself as much as possible and play with the color as much as possible. But yes, go Alita. Go buy Alita. If you have not done so already, do it. And as I said before, sometime this week, there will be a giveaway. Once I have the copies in my hands, there will be a giveaway of 5 copies of Alita. One's a 4K copy, and 4 are regular Blu-ray copies. And I'll give the person a shout out once I have my regular setup and I can actually pull that information up without closing anything. Well, Gender says, talking of comparisons in what we view, the overall quality level of the stream compared to usual is abysmal. And you see, Will, that's a fair comparison. That is an absolutely fair comparison. Because the internet quality is not as good. The video quality is not as good. I'm holding the damn microphone, so that's automatically not going to be nearly as good. So there you go. Will you miss us when you move, says Steph. Of course. You're not going anywhere. I'll still be right here, Elliot. Well, Jody says, we need to watch Blade one morning. You'd see the first again. Really like the second, but baffled by the third, says Will. My wife loves Blade Trinity, but it's because of Ryan Reynolds. Oh, but only men are toxic. No, she admitted. She says, no. Ryan Reynolds looks really good in that goatee. And at one point, he's shirtless. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, yeah, I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable enough in our relationship for you to say those types of things. Yeah, so we'll have to do those streams again because, as I said before, once the school year starts, the movie morning streams, I would like to continue those because those were a lot of fun. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up making those Saturday mornings. And that way I can continue to do so. And then maybe make every other month a movie night where it's a movie that I have seen. Because that was a lot of fun to have those comparisons. Orange Hat Review says Thor 5 would be known as Thunder from Down Under, and it would star our boy Lethal Lightning. Dude, if Thor 5 was starring my boy Lethal, I would watch that film in a heartbeat. I would pay to see that. I would give Disney money if they would cast Lethal Lightning in a film called Thunder from Down Under. Now, I might not stay in the movie because it might be explicit. Knowing my boy Lethal, it might be explicit. Matthew Morgan says, probably has been asked before, but what was your favorite scene from Alita? F Your Mercy. Hands down. Now, there's other really great scenes, but that time, that line in the movie when I saw it the first time, I was just like, oh, yeah. I was like, I usually don't cheer cursing, but that was one of the best uses of the F word I've ever seen in my life. It was so great. Somebody B says, yes, queen. Genesis says, yeah, the stream is like merging proper Jeremy with drunk 3PO. Hey, man, make sure you sub. I think, did Proper finally hit 1,000 subs? If you have not subbed to Proper Jeremy, help the brother out. Get him to 1,000 so that way he can get monetized and be just as miserable as all of us dealing with freaking AdSense and dealing with freaking YouTube. But also, definitely support Drunk 3PO because I think he's actually out of the country right now. Go support him. I just became a patron member of his because I really like the work that he's doing helping kids. Will Gendry says, so you're doing another giveaway. I won't win because I never got the damn cookies. Seriously, though, I think you do more giveaways than every other channel I watch combined. And Will, that's what I've always wanted to do. Like, from day one, I wanted to do giveaways because I think that they need to be done more. Because when you think about it, these things that we're giving, like these Blu-rays, they don't cost much. Like, in how they're actually produced, if like seriously, if a company contacted me and said, we're going to give you 20 Blu-rays to give away, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll do it. It's like, as long as I don't have to shill for you or give away a movie that I don't personally like, no problem. No problem at all. Let us see here. Southern Neon says, most notable flaw in streaming quality, no couch puppies. I know, seriously. Well, also, the orange chair couch has been dismantled. It is in pieces because that's the only way it's going to get out of this room. The Doctor 14. TARDIS Zone is Doctor Who YouTuber who was going to interview me about being a pro Jodie fan, but he took the interview away because I said some things he did not like. And again, Doctor, that's really what it comes down to, man. You have to know your audience. You have to know that the things you say are heard. The things that you say are out there, and you can't take them back. Something that I always have to be cognizant of. That's why I always try and watch myself. I never want to say things that I tried to never say anything that I would not want to be sitting in an office with, being played back to me, and being asked the question, how do you explain this? That's why I don't curse. That's why I try and do the very best that I can to stay on point. That's why I try to never go down certain roads and certain paths. That's why I try to, for example, I try to limit open forum streams, and I try to always be as clear as possible that there's only certain things that I can answer. It's one of those things that you have to deal with when you're employed by the man. Bruce says it's sad that Merc is lacking with Alita. I had to set it for a stylized but official version of Alita. Wait, Bruce? Merc? Oh, merch. I got you. Let's see. Tina says, I heard you mentioned scheduling the Patreon stream for next week with a 24-hour notice, but you are streaming Monday and Tuesday as usual. So Tina, basically the way it's going to work is that Monday, Wednesday are going to be the two possible days for the Patreon stream. My guess is that it'll probably be Wednesday, just to give even more time for anyone that might need to. But Tuesday's out. There's not going to be a low council on Tuesday. At least I don't think. There might be like a midday stream on Tuesday, but I'm doing something that night. I'm going to see a movie that night with John Flickinger, the Flick Pick. Cool dude. Well, Gentry says, yeah, movie mornings are better for me, better timing, and what more reason could you need? Exactly. It's very true. All that I need to do is make you feel happy, right? Grandmaster Yoda says, I see Lion King on Wednesday. Is it anything the CGI that is good? So much bad feedback makes me skeptical. So basically, the CGI is beautiful. It's not perfect. It's beautiful. You're like, basically, I give credit to the team that put that together because that took a lot of work. You know, that did. But that doesn't mean the story's good. That doesn't mean the voice acting's good. That does not mean that there's actual heart to the story because those animals can't show emotion. And so, yeah, I would say that's where I would stand on it. Will Gender says, no one Lethal, I'm sure hashtag Nude Squad would make an appearance at some point. I'm sure the whole movie with Lethal would be that. No question. Oh, no question about it. Let's see here. Stephanie B says, Tina and Josiah got proper to 1,000 and over. Nice. Also, guys, just so you know, the cookies are off tonight because I'm on a different machine. If you could not tell from my really poor audio, from my really poor video quality and my handheld audio, we're doing things a little differently tonight. But it's awesome to hear, Steph. Genesis says he hit it and then lost 50 subs right away after hitting it. Government. No, Genesis, those are what we call trolls. And that's when you reach a point and then you celebrate it, and then all of a sudden people are like, "I'm gonna screw with him." It's like when someone says, "Oh look, I have no dislikes," and then all of a sudden it gets flooded with it. By the way, I can't see it, so be kind. Hammer says, "I don't have faith in CGI Lion King director and director of Iron Man 2, Jon Favreau, handling any Star Wars." Well, Hammer, the reason why I have more faith in him for The Mandalorian is because I feel, just based on how he speaks about it, that he has a little bit more control. The fact that he's using practical effects, the fact that he's going back and studying flight patterns of ships from the original movies, that's pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of really cool things that they're doing with it. Now, I'm still not going to support it financially, but I can still point out when something's pretty cool. Orange Review says, we're in full tourist season here up in my hometown. I was recently recognized by another tourist when I just went to my local ice cream stand. It's pretty cool and humbling. That's awesome, Orange Chat. I never get noticed. Though, to be fair, I don't leave my house very often. So, and based on your videos, your Orange Chat is always on the road, man. That dude will put like 5 videos up, and he'll be walking out of a store. He'll be walking down the street, and it's like, oh, I'm just gonna. So that's, yeah. Gannison, what's going on, Gannison? Speaking of the person that first let me on to Alita, Gannison, our girl is doing very, very well. Very well here in the States. Will Jenner says, that's why I've only heard you swear once on Anna's live stream trying to raise awareness for her sister. Yeah, I mean, and even then, it was on another channel. I did not have my camera on, and it needed to be said. That was one of those times when those people that were being asshats needed to be called out, and so that's why it's very rare. And in fact, I cursed on one other stream other than that I can think of. Let's see here. Bruce says, the words are what? Gennison, what I miss? Just a little conversation. A little more conversation. Such as says, will you watch and review Crawl or Midsommar? Or is nothing scary anymore after the Cats trailer? Yes, nothing is scarier than that Cats trailer, but I want to see Midsommar. I just have not had the time. I've been busy with stuff. But Crawl, probably not my type of movie. But Midsommar, I'm interested because I hear it's more of a psychological thing than anything else. 70B says, is this the real last time in NOLA? Cue Boys to Men. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Yeah, because tomorrow, if I have time in the evening, I'm going to go see the Tarantino film. I'm going to go see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood because I really want to see it. It was one of my most anticipated films of the summer, and I've been hearing really good things, and the things that I'm hearing negative about it are things a conversation about a freaking burger, amazing, and a classic. So, yes, Stephanie B, this will definitely be the last time from NOLA, at least from a stream. I might do some vlogging on the way, though I can't promise that because I'll be driving a 26-foot truck and also hauling my car behind me. So I'm going to kind of want to keep myself focused on the road. I'm trying to leave like very early. Very, very, very early on Monday, so that way I can avoid all traffic. Let's see. 70B says, one time Nemesis tricked you to saying crap like 10 years ago. No. Early on, yes, I got tricked to saying that. And also, during a random stream, I dropped an F-bomb because my brain farted for a second, and it just came out. So, yeah, on this channel, it's happened once like that, where I actually dropped an F-bomb. Being tricked by Nemesis. Yeah, that happened once or twice. John Miller says, sad, sorry stream. It's not a sorry. It's not a sad stream. This is a happy occasion. It's a happy occasion. Name that movie. Name that movie, and you will receive my praise. I will sing your name. I'm not repeating it. Let's see who the first person can be. Let's see. Will Gender says, I've heard. Make sure you tag me, Odin Question, if you want it to count. Will Gender says, I've heard Midsommar is a hard watch, but also very good. It's not gore. It's more of a harrowing event, but there's a point to it. The filmmaker does it in a way that makes you think. Yeah, exactly. That's what I heard. And I tend to like psychological thrillers more than anything else. I really like psychological thrillers a lot. I love them a lot. Tina says, if some of these folks are now calling for Tarantino's style of storytelling to come to an end because he's not woke enough, I figure Once Upon a Time is a classic. No, Tina, like seriously, they're going after them. They're going after Tarantino. And I'm thinking to myself, why is it that all of Hollywood and the media are going after one of the only filmmakers that's still making original movies in Hollywood? I wonder. Could it be because he's not jumping aboard that train? Huh? Steady says, it's a wonderful life. No, sorry, it's not that. John Winkler says, I meant that your stream keeps faulting on me. I'm sorry to hear that, John Winkler. I'm very sorry. I'm so sorry to hear that. I wish that I could fix it. But there's nothing I can do at this point in time that would fix it right away, unfortunately. Genesis says, when are you moving? So I'm packing up a giant 26-foot truck tomorrow, and then I'm actually hitting the road Monday morning so I can avoid traffic and get to Tennessee before 5 o'clock traffic. So Hammer says, once upon a time in Hollywood, it drops an F-bomb on SJW 2019. It's so effing good it hurts. Really, Hammer? Now I'm excited. Now you've excited me, and that explains why they're going after it, because you can't do that. You can't do that. And that's why I reject your hypothesis. The man himself said that. I reject your hypothesis. And I say that to the media. I say that to all of modern day Hollywood. I reject your stupidity. I reject your preaching. I object your poor quality, low energy films. Low energy. Will Jenner says, yeah, it's much more psychological than just another jump scare. See, I hate jump scares, so that's good to know, Will. Bruce says, starting tomorrow, I plan on watching all the Tarantino films before seeing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Damn, Bruce, that's awesome. The one Tarantino film I've not seen yet. Now, there might be one other film that's, I think it's only been one that I've never seen. That one would be Jackie Brown. That's the one. I have it on DVD, or at least I did have it. I sold a lot of my DVDs to get rid of them through Declutter. I also gave away a lot of books. Donated a lot of books today. That shelf behind me, it used to be with books. I want to say like half of it, more than half of it was donated today, because I was like, you know what? I'm never going to read this before. I'm never going to read this. I'm never going to read it, and I don't really have the patience to try and sell them all. You know, I need to make some room, man. I need to make some room. Matthew Morgan says, why do you think original stories are lost, dying out in Hollywood? Because it's hard. Because it's hard. It's harder to make an original story, get it produced, and know that it's not going to be $1 billion film. That's the reason why. Because Tarantino's film is going to make money. It's not going to make $1 billion. And that's fine. It doesn't need to. It didn't cost that much to make in comparison to other films. It's going to make a huge profit. But modern day Hollywood is trying to make the quick buck. They would rather do a remake or reboot, spend very little time actually developing the story in pre-production, go into production right away, and then make a movie that's a complete waste of time. Will Gender says, yeah, we all know why they're going after Tarantino, because he rejects their hypothesis. Boom, because he rejects that. I need to get that soundbite. That needs to be my next soundbite. I have the I'm sorry. I need to be I reject that hypothesis. Orange Eye Review says, did you hear that the Terminator Dark Fate plot leaks have been confirmed to be the actual plot and not a fake? Just makes me want to see the movie less now. I don't even know what the leaks are, man. Tina says, Tarantino is one of the last directors I can appreciate in modern Hollywood. The rest I have no respect for now. He is one of the only directors in Hollywood still making original projects. You can count on one hand the number of directors that are actually producing these types of films. Genesis says, do you have any help to move? So my best friend is actually helping me. I took him to dinner the other night to a nice Italian restaurant to make up for the crap that he's going to have to deal with tomorrow. So my best friend's coming. Mom and dad are going to come to help as well. And I'm going to try and see if I can get one of my brothers to come. my only brother that's actually local to come. I used to have a lot more people that I could ask, but a lot of them moved away. I can't imagine why. I can, actually. Let's see. Gannison says, Alita's number one there for Blu-ray sales. Damn right, Alita. Damn right, Gannison, for sure. Slajanian says, why not just call the next Thor movie Thunder Woman 1984? Yes. Thunder Woman. Thunder Woman 1984. Yes. Let's make that happen, bruv. Let's make that happen. Cynical Centrist says, oh no, took a nap, nearly missed the stream. It's okay, Cynical. It's okay. I'm not going to be on too much longer because I do want to try and give some support to Junker. I always forget the second part of his title. It's Junker Designs. Junker Designs. He was interviewed by Anna a little while ago. He was the one that was a costume designer for Alita Battle Angel. He specifically designed the jacket that Hugo wore. And also, he was in the movie. He was one of the rollerball contestants in the movie as well. And so he's actually doing a giveaway, and the giveaway is going to be him actually going to the person, getting their measurements, and actually designing for them their own Hugo jacket, which sounds pretty cool. So I haven't seen him jump in tonight at all. So Junker Designs is the name of the channel. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube or not, but yeah. I want to make sure I'm able to give him some room and some love. Bruce says, oh, Jackie Brown is classic Quentin. Yeah, that's what I've heard. I heard that because obviously, with that film, he goes into blaxploitation, which was a very specific genre of filmmaking during the 1980s. And I just never have really been into blaxploitation all that much. I had to watch a couple of films of the blaxploitation era in college because I studied film in my undergrad. And so, I mean, again, one of the coolest undergrad degrees. I get to watch movies, take notes on them, discuss them in class, and then study. Like, man, those are the best. Those were the best classes. No question about it. Gannison says, that person thing is over, right? Says Gannison. I'm not saying the person's name just out of respect. Yes, that thing ended. However, there are some people that are trying to bring it back and agitate it. Some are Breebots. Some are other crazy fanatical people that unfortunately have somehow gotten themselves attached to the movement. So luckily though, I've been trying to shut that down as much as I can. Hammer says, oh man, Jackie Brown is fantastic. Let's watch on a live stream. That could be a Saturday morning movie. For sure, that could be a Saturday morning movie. Nicolas says, I think Tarantino is too powerful even for the SJW mob. I think so too. I think there's enough people in Hollywood that love him. The fact that people go out of the way to be in one of his movies, knowing that it's not going to be this giant moneymaker, shows you that they obviously understand and recognize that the guy's a genius. Because he is. Like, this is the guy that said, I'm going to stop at 10 films. Who in Hollywood says, I'm only making 10 movies? Think about all of the directors and how many movies that they've made and how many movies they want to keep on making. This guy picks his projects. He does things the way he wants to do them. He does not let studios control him. So why do you think the media and Hollywood's going after him? Because he can't be controlled. And this is a guy that probably agrees with them politically on a lot of things, but he can't be controlled. And he doesn't go into those extremes like they do. And that's why I love his movies. His movies are fantastic. Senate says, knowing Tarantino, he'll go after the SJWs twice as hard. He will reject the hell out of the dumb hypothesis. Damn right, man. Damn right. Hammer says, I'm very sad Tarantino is retiring from directing. It could be a Star Trek movie, which would a Tarantino Star Trek movie? Holy crap. That could be interesting. I don't know if it would be a good Star Trek movie, but I mean, I think it would be a good Tarantino film if Tarantino's the one behind it. But he's got one more in him. He's got one more in him last time I checked. Because I'm pretty sure he said 10 was the number he wanted to get to. Which again, how many people do that? Tina says, Josiah was on live earlier going on a trailer Amazon dropped introducing production staff for The Lord of the Rings. Some could be promising. Some worked on Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. But, really? You're going to do a but, Tina? Were you continuing on that point? Or were you just saying that you're not that you weren't sure? Yeah, I mean, obviously, we still have to wait until we get more information for sure. Let's see. Gannison says, gotta go. Hope you have a great day ahead of you. Thank you very much, Gannison. Appreciate it, man. Tina says, some have JJ connections screaming. Oh, no, Tina. JJ has his hands in everything. His little tentacles. Grandmaster Yoda says, if Alita beats Captain Woke in Blu-ray, I will laugh off the Breebots and show media for a long time. I think it will end with 1.1 billion. That will be embarrassing. So, Grandmaster Yoda, I think that it will. Here's the thing, too. Just because a movie sells a certain number of copies does not mean it's made a certain number of money. What do I mean by that? Well, obviously, as you know, a 4K does not cost the same as a DVD. Blu-ray does not cost the same as a 4K. Steelbook does not cost the same. So all these things need to be taken into account. So let's say that volume-wise, Captain Marvel sells more, sells more copies. Which, when you think about it, makes sense because think of all those extra copies that are in every single Best Buy sitting and collecting dust right now. They have obviously made the film readily available. And just based on mass volume, it means it's available in more places, it's seen by more people, and naturally that just means it's going to be picked up by a higher percentage of people. However, if Alita cannot just only make more money, but also even sell more copies, that would be a huge thing. So there's two numbers to look at, from about a month from now. How much the movie has made, and also how many copies it's sold. And again, in a month, we'll get the initial Alita numbers. So we'll have to wait till like December to actually get a feel for initial sales for these movies, because after that initial week, things usually drop off. So that's why this week coming up, we'll have to keep on supporting the film. Bruce says, once you get around to seeing the Jackie Brown, you're going to kick yourself for waiting so long to see it. Yes, I mean, again, why would I wait to see a Tarantino film, man? Let's see. Cynical Centrist says, yeah, Grace Randolph had some strong words about Tarantino's new movie. I gotta see it. Like, she was upset with it? Because she always comes across as being more middle of the road. But I could be wrong on that. I don't really watch her stuff that much. But that's what I've always gotten from other people. Antoinette says, I took a bunch of film classes, saw a lot of movies I would never have seen. Some were good, some were Heaven's Gate. Antoinette, I feel the same way. There are some where it's like, I'm glad I saw them, and then there's others where I'm like, not really. Will Judge says, honestly, Jackie Brown is the only Tarantino film I didn't enjoy. It just wasn't my kind of film. To me, it was something like, it was like something happened, then another thing, and then something else, then the end. Well, again, he was mimicking the blaxploitation style of filmmaking, and that's not a style that's going to be for everyone. So that's what I love about his movies, though. They're not made for everyone. They're not mass-produced products. Disney tries to get a movie out that's going to appeal to as many people as possible, to get as much money as possible. Tarantino doesn't give a damn about that. Tarantino's like, I'm making my movie the way I want to make it, and if you like it, great. And if you don't like it, there's the door. And that's why I love the dude. Because he doesn't care about that. He cares about making good movies. We need more of that in Hollywood. That's why we need to start choosing where we spend our money much more carefully. Bruce says, I hate Quentin's politics, but for me, that's never been an issue when it comes to wanting to see his movies, because he pretty much keeps them out for the most part, I would say. Spooky out California says, thoughts on the new Zombieland? Just saw the trailer for it. Looks dope. Yeah, I mean, it looks fine. It looks like it's picking up where it left off, and I hope they don't try and throw any nonsense in. Genesis says, Sam Jackson will be a captain for Starfleet, and he will say, engage, mother effer. Now, that'd be interesting. Orange Review says, I remember reading about Tarantino canceling a movie outright mid-production because of a plot leaking getting out there. That's why I respect him. He doesn't like leaks. Yeah, apparently, on set, he makes people put their phones, like before they go on set, they have to put their phones in like a basket. And they can't get on their phones unless they go back out to grab it from the basket and go out. And he's very, very careful about that kind of stuff, which is good. Again, he's making original film. He's making original content. Why would he want anyone to know about it, seeing that he's one of the only people that are actually doing it? Let's see. Smooth J California says, J.J. Abrams is the new Harvey Weinstein. Let that sink in. Oh, I don't want that to sink in. That's just disturbing. Cynical Centra says a certain number of money. I know. Slash Nan says, even without the wokeness of the MCU not giving movies to my She-Hulk and Beta Ray Bill is injustice enough to rage quit. Slash Neons. I hear you. Alex McCarthy says, I forgot how crappy Amazing Spider-Man 2 was, yet some reason I like it at the same. Alex McCarthy, you like a lot of bad movies, but at least you admit they're bad movies, and that's why I respect you. Smoothie out of California says, if they're making Jane Foster Thor in the new movie, then they need to be consistent and finally let Thor himself live out his childhood dream and become a Valkyrie. It's only fair. That's a great point, Smooth Jam. That's an excellent point. Matthew Morgan says, the hype for Alita is real. Never seen so much anticipation for a Blu-ray release. Thanks for spreading the good news and recruiting for the Alita Army. No problem at all, Matthew Morgan. Again, Alita Army is for every person. If you like Alita and you want to support it, boom. Join. Buy. Give. A lot of people are giving. And that's what's really cool about it, too, is that people are out of the generosity of their own hearts, giving away stuff, which is awesome. Cynical Centra says, Grace was upset about how all the women were depicted as shrewish and unlikable, I guess. God, seriously? You realize it was set in the 1960s, and that's probably how a lot of people acted during that time. But you can't say that, can you? God. If that's the reason why she didn't like it, then that's the reason why I'm probably going to like it. Because I don't care about that nonsense. Will says, yeah, that was clearly not made with someone like me in mind. It wasn't bad. It was very well made, just not for me. Blaxploitation just isn't my thing. And again, I hear that. Rumor says, Captain Marvel sold less 1 million Blu-rays in the U.S. on week 3 and made 6 million less than Venom at the same time. Not very good. The MCU billion-dollar film. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's interesting, because when you compare how much money it made compared to how many units it made, it's not doing well in comparison to other movies, to other MCU films. In fact, there are films that made like half as many sales in their first week and yet made more money. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Cynical Centra says, no wokeness in the new Thrawn book. Mark Thompson does a hilarious dumb guy voice for one character. Duh. Well, I've actually heard from a friend that the book's not good and nothing happens. So it might not be woke, but I hear it's boring and nothing happens. So I don't know. Maybe I have a different opinion there. Bruce says, Grace Randolph really didn't like the way male characters treated the female characters. It was 60s objectivity type. Exactly, Bruce. Thank you for making the great point. Oh, I didn't like how the women were treated. You do realize that there's this thing called history, right? And you do realize that there was a time when women were not treated the way they're treated now. You do realize that there was a time, even in America, that would be like someone watching a movie about women's suffrage and then saying, you know what, I didn't like that women didn't have rights. And it's like, okay, so you just want us to ignore history. You just want us to ignore the fact that these things actually happened. Are you an idiot? Yes, you are. Will Gentry says, hashtag Valkyrie Thor, let's get it trending. Orange Hat Review says, I basically helped the identity politics narrative for the Blade being a Muslim push that people want with my latest video and involuntary helping though. Got it. Sonny B says, here is the link to Todd Junker's live stream. Wait, he's live or he's got it planned? So yeah, support Todd Junker, everybody. Please be a part of it. Help him out. Will Gentry says, that's the problem now. People are looking to pass things through modern eyes. Even Kate Mulgrew, captain in Star Trek Voyager, was talking about how sexist Star Wars was. And it's like, Star Trek was. It's like, because that was the time. It's like, really? Slash Neon says, Hollywood women being shrewish and unlikable. Perish that thought, says Slash Neon. Seriously, never. Oh, never. Hollywood women, even today, would never do that. Cynical Centrist says, I give Thrawn a C, probably so low a grade because other books are so good. Cynical Centrist, makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. Hammer says, have you seen all of the Paul Thomas Anderson films? Another genius filmmaker who shoots only on celluloid. I've seen one or two. His movies to me are too slow of a burn for my taste. Will Gentry says, even though she had no problem with it whatsoever when she was filming the show, but she's bringing it up now while sliding into that she's available for a part in the Star Trek Picard. Of course, Will. That's how it works in Hollywood. Jay Stowe says, curious how big your movie music sections are at your local Best Buy. Went to mine, got Alita Steelbook, but it was shocked to see those sections being downsized to almost nothing. Damn, Jace. Well, I'm glad that you were able to get a Steelbook because they're very, very, very hard to find in a lot of places. Nick says, that's cancel culture for you. Erase all history if it doesn't fit the narrative. Yep. Jim Monkey says, sort of like SJ was complaining about the lack of women in the terrible Dunkirk. It's not a terrible movie. It's overrated, but yes, I agree. And it's like, yeah, oh my gosh, there's no women in it. There was no women in it because there were no female soldiers at that time. Oh, but the women were there. They were nurses and they were helping and they were a part of it. But the movie wasn't about that. It was about the soldiers. Tina says, Kate Mulgrew is an idiot. She talked about Roddenberry being a womanizer, but didn't discuss at all the strides he made in the 60s TV show, like a black woman on the bridge. Yeah, because they don't want to talk about that. Everything has changed. Smoothie out California says, I just saw something on Twitter that says that Captain Marvel is the lowest selling MCU film on Blu-ray, even lower than Edward Norton's Hulk. We'll try to tag you on it. Well, Smoothie out California, also know that is only the first initial numbers for Captain Marvel. So by next week or the week after, that number will probably go up. So at this point in time, sure, but the film also, according to the numbers, this is the first numbers. So this is like the first few weeks that it's actually reporting on. So part of that's true, but take it with a grain of salt, all right? Micah Wood says, nobody complaining about Magic Mike, though, right now. Surprising BS. Well, Magic Mike's a great film, to be honest. It's actually it's a really well-made film. And you want to know why? Because it was made by a good film director. Cynical Centra says, hopefully I'll get to see Tarantino's movie tomorrow. I hope so, too. That's my hope, is that I get everything done in a reasonable hour so that I'm able to see it. Because it's a 2-hour and 40-minute movie. It's very long. So I need to be able to dedicate time to actually going to see it. So that's my hope for tomorrow. Matthew Morgan says, what are some of the other film critique YouTube channels that you recommend? I personally, the trinity of film review channels that I have been watching for the past 6 years about that inspired me a lot, I would say, are Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, and my boy John Flickinger, the Flick Pick. I think all three are solid. They're not all perfect, but guess what? They're not supposed to be perfect because it's film criticism, and opinions are going to come into play with any person that criticizes film. So I think that all three of them are solid. If you want quick reviews that are to the point, go with Jeremy Johns. His videos are always very quick and to the point. If you want a more methodical approach to the film, Chris Stuckman is the person for you. He's very methodical in his reviews, and that's why I personally like his channel. And if you want someone who's like a mixture of those two, but is also hilarious, I would go with John Flickinger and the Flick Pick channel. It's amazing to me how different they are, but how they also can talk about the same movie in all these different ways and still bring something fresh to it. So I would recommend those three. Smoothie California says, fair enough, I forgot about that. Still, maybe it's time to buy out those whole copies. Yeah, hashtag Edward Norton Challenge, says Smoothie California. Well, to be fair, the numbers isn't keeping track of that anymore, because as I said, it only keeps track for a certain period of time. Basically, as long as it's on the chart, as long as it's actually selling enough copies to be seen, that's how long it keeps track of it for. So it's a very weird system. I would read their methodology on thenumbers.com. Cynical Center says, I love Jeremy Johns. I love Jeremy Johns too. I would love to have a Conversation with him. He seems like a cool dude. Rhaegar Targaryen says, 2 hours and 40 minutes? That's actually give me pause. Well, Rhaegar Targaryen, movies can be long and good. There's been other films that have been about that long that have been excellent films. Smoothie California says, best critic on YouTube, James Rolfe, hands down. That man is the GOAT. I've never seen a video by James Rolfe. A video channel that I do want to promote is one that I actually promoted a couple weeks ago, and I think it's called Home Entertainment or Home Video Entertainment. He basically, the video that got him a lot of attention, and he's actually talked about it a lot on his videos, which I saw was fun. I was like, I feel like I contributed a little bit because I pushed a lot of people in that direction because his videos are great. He talked about why older movies look better on 4K. Basically, he breaks down the science, exactly that channel name. I know that you know the video name. If you can find it and post that channel in there, that's a great channel. He does actual 4K reviews. So he doesn't review the movie. He actually reviews the 4K release. He says how the audio quality is, how the video quality is, how the HDR, again, very, 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 very good channel. Hybrid says, battery is about to die, but just want to stop by and say hi to you, my brother. What's going on, Hybrid? I'm about to end the stream, dude, so you're not going to miss too much. Cynical Centrist says, the actress from El Royale will play Harriet Tubman. I saw that, Cynical Centrist. Yeah, that Harriet Tubman trailer looks pretty badass. I don't know the direction they're going with it. There's certain things that they could do that could be bad, but based on a first trailer, I'm interested. I don't know about anyone else. Let's see. Legit36 says, I want to watch Batwoman illegally, ironically, just to laugh at the Force SJW. I'm totally watching the pilot. I'm definitely watching the pilot on my Fire Stick, allegedly. Tina says, the 4K and why older movies look better. We'll see if I can find it. It shouldn't be hard because it was a trending video. So it should be one of the first things that have been seen in a long time. So anyway, guys, that's going to be me wrapping things up. So let me try and open up a window without closing anything because I do want to give a shout out to my July patrons. As I can, there we go, cool. All right, so a huge shout out to my July patrons, Albertus Magnus, Animation Commentator, Baptist 702, Brian P, Chicago Joe 47, Darkstar 57, The Elite System 32, Dion, Edward Coleman, Enrique Evangelista, Entertainment Hacker, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Weeder Dog Clan, Harold Francis, The Hunka Chunka Funka Monkey, Inflame Wood, Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ, Jonathan Jerembeck, Laura Story, Matthew Kadish, Mitch Dunaway, Mad Mitch, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Post Dyer, Reef Magos, Rosetta Allen, Shenglong, Sir Lancelato, Theodora, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, Those Two Ball Guys, and Tina B. You are all amazing and beautiful people. And also to my subscribers. J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Fan Addicts of Film, Force Ghost Jeremy, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, The Filmy Professor, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Christian J. Murr, Texas Kayla, Rolando Scarfullery, Nebadan G. Adams, Andreas, The K-Man, and Brandon Blick. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Where we got? We got some chats. So let me catch up. I think that some will. I think that there are going to be other people like Tarantino that are going to start to like flourish and are going to have very successful films as the bigger budget films start to flop. I think that you could totally see that over the next 5 years. Tina says, so will Rey go back in time, become Anakin's mom, making her Kylo's great-grandmother? All this time travel crap is giving me a migraine. I heard about this. I heard that apparently there's a rumor going around. I think Red Letter Media put this fan theory out there that they're using time travel. And if they use time travel in Star Wars, that'll be the second Disney-run property that has used time travel. And if the first time they used it in Endgame is any indication, they're going to screw it up massively. Rhaegar Targaryen says, yeah, but it's Tarantino. You know how frivolous some of the dialogue can be in his films. It makes my eyes roll in the back of my head. But that's the thing. You know, the frivolous dialogue even has a purpose, I would argue. Smoothie Jack California says, I've heard rumors about big shot Hollywood CEOs had private dungeons hidden behind their offices. Make of that what you will. That would not surprise me. These are some pretty crazy people. These are some pretty crazy people. These are pretty crazy people. Alex McCarthy says, now time for Spider-Man Homecoming. God bless you, Odin. Safe travels. And buy Alita, y'all. Yeah, buy Alita, guys. If that's not been made clear at this point, buy Alita. Support the release. Antoinette says, thanks for watching Batwoman so we don't have to. No problem at all. Have a great move, says Orange Hat Reviews. Thank you very much, good sir. Mr. Peabody, hey, well, I finished hitching up the horse's pilgrim. We're about ready to hit the trail. Well, Mr. Peabody, I'm about to hit the trail as well, man. Bruce, good night to you, good sir. Slash Neon says, hope the move goes well. Lord be with you. Thank you very much, Slash Neon. I appreciate that. Antoinette says, I thought time travel ruined Endgame, but I seem to be the only one. No, Antoinette, no, you're not. It did ruin Endgame. The story is objectively bad because of the time travel. Will Gender says, I really don't think they will use time travel. They'll double down before they use time travel at retcon their self-created problems. Yeah, that's a good point. Cynical Zentra says, I guess the time travel theory is based on the radar dish on the Falcon being round like it used to be instead of rectangular. Oh, interesting. Hammer says, I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood last night in 35mm. Tarantino takes you back in time and knocks you out of the stratosphere. Awesome, Hammer. Can't wait to check it out. Orange Review says, I like the EU Legends version of time travel called Flow Walking. I was able to be done by Force sensitives. Gotcha. Nickel Noodle says, have a safe trip. Thank you very much. Tina says, safe travels. Thank you very much. All right, guys, so I've caught up with all the chats. Thank you very much, every one of you, for joining me on this impromptu stream with shaky cam and everything else, all the other issues we had tonight with the connection going in and out. Monday, we'll have a stream. Wednesday, we'll have a stream. Tuesday, we will not have a stream, but Wednesday or Monday, most likely Wednesday, will be the Patreon stream, meaning that I will have all of my $25 and up backers on the channel to talk about the things that they want to talk about and have us a good little fun discussion. So stay tuned to that. I'll message all of you guys as soon as that happens. So just be ready for that description. And also on Monday or Wednesday, either of those days, we will be doing a giveaway of 5 copies of Alita Battle Angel, so make sure you stay tuned to that. And please, yes, thank you very much for all the prayers. I really do appreciate it. So for those that don't know, I am moving currently. Tomorrow, I am packing up the giant 26-foot truck, putting my car on the back of it, and then on Monday morning, bright and early, I'm driving 6.5 hours, though it'll probably take me 7.5 hours because I can't do my normal speed that I normally do on the interstate on my regular car up to Tennessee. So thank you guys so much for your love and for your support. Seriously, Reed Palancia and Mr. Roy, thank you for your donations tonight, for being the only two. I really do appreciate that as well. You guys are freaking awesome. You rock. And also, guys, buy those Blu-rays. Buy the Blu-rays for Alita Battle Angel. Support our girl in whatever way you want. No gatekeeping on this one, guys. Whatever way you want to and wish to support Alita, you go ahead and do so. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.